core and spinal strength, which is, just music to my ears because I preach it every day to my patients. They can come here and get aligned, they can get their adjustments, but they need to keep that core strength.
Right.
And Pilates is such a good way to do that.
Absolutely.
No better.
Welcome to Posture and Purpose, where both healing and community come together. Make sure to subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Let's get into this episode with Dr. Michelle Carr-Frank.
Hello and welcome to Posture and Purpose. Today I have Miss Angel with me that actually owns her own Pilates studio here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what and your certifications.
Well, I'm Angel Whitaker. I own IMX Pilates, and my certifications are super advanced, tower training, bar training, mat training, reformer training, all of the IMX certifications. I'm just not quite master.
Yes.
Right under.
You wear many hats then.
Yes.
Quite a bit of experience to talk about there. I know one question a lot of people do ask me in my practice is, what is the difference between Pilates and yoga?
There's a lot of things that align, but they're two totally different practices. A yoga is more breath work, and it focuses on alignment there as well, flexibility. Pilates, however, we use apparatuses such as the reformer, the tower, and the mat, and the ring, things like that, to help focus on our core and spinal strength. Because if we don't have a strong core or spine, then we can't move our limbs effectively and safely.
Exactly.
So we focus a little bit more on core and spinal strength in Pilates.
Core and spinal strength, which is, just music to my ears because I preach it every day to my patients. They can come here and get aligned, they can get their adjustments, but they need to keep that core strength.
Right.
And Pilates is such a good way to do that.
Absolutely.
No better. So how did you first find Pilates as an interest, and what led you to become a super certified advanced trainer?
Well, I've been in health and wellness for a really long time. I've always loved group fitness, and I actually have a health administration background, so it all kind of, correlates there. But I started going to IMX Pilates as a client. And so I took over the studio probably 2 years after I started, and got my certification. So it's been about 8 years since I started the certification process. I was doing a lot of weightlifting and feeling a lot of pain and aches all the time. And so that's why I went to IMX to see if it was something for me, because they focus on strength and flexibility. And I found that I felt longer and leaner, and I didn't hurt as much anymore. And I still got the strengthening benefits as I was getting with weightlifting. So I just felt better.
Yes.
And so that's what I had a passion for it for myself. I wanted to share it with everybody else.
So yes, pain is an indicator. That will make people take notice quickly. Everyone now wants a quick fix. Everything instant. And chiropractic isn't an instant fix, and Pilates isn't. It's a build-up. It's a maintaining.
Right.
And it's persistence. You have to stay on top of it to get ahead of it and be preventative with your core strength and exercises. So what does super certified mean? And to someone who might not actually understand the depth of this training, how would you explain it to them?
Yeah, there's multiple certifications through IMX Corporation, and this is one of the more advanced certifications. So specifically the super advanced certification incorporates special audiences, such as people with spinal issues, people that play golf, athletes, and pre and postnatal. So that's what that certification includes. And then right below that, there's an advanced certification that includes all the similar workouts, but that doesn't focus on the special audiences. And then it kind of digresses from there. But it's like you have to take one before you can take the next.
So it's obvious that your passion was in this. What made you take that leap of faith to not just being a trainer, but to owning the business? How did that come about?
It was funny. The old owner, we were literally laying down next to each other on the machines working out, and she turned around and looked at me. I'm like, shouldn't we be looking at the ceiling, lengthening our neck, like thinking? And she goes, Angel, you would be perfect. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, you want to buy the studio? And I was like, wait a minute. What are you talking about?
Where did that come from, right?
I was like, let's finish working out and let's talk after class. And so we went through the negotiations and whatnot, and all the stars aligned, and I took over a few months after that and started my certification. I had about 90 days to get it done, and that was just the first little bit of
hurdle.
And then from there, over the past 8 years, I've been, completing all the other certifications.
So you've been quite busy, I assume.
Yes.
And so how is the IMX Pilates different from like a classical Pilates or mat Pilates, what people are most, I think, familiar with?
Right. So IMX does incorporate mat. The difference in it is that we incorporate resistance in the mat. We use what we call a body bar, anywhere from 5 to maybe 12 pounds, if that, to add the resistance for the mat work. And then our machine is patented by Elise McNergy and the IMX Corporation, and it's a stronger, sturdier machine. It's made out of steel and aluminum, and it can fit anywhere from probably someone around 4'2" to anyone from, I've had somebody almost 7 foot tall use it.
Oh, wow.
I've had someone over 400 pounds use it. So it's a very adjustable machine. So that's a lot of the differences there is the machine is a little bit sturdier, has more resistance. So we focus more on strength training and cardio, and we focus on 5 fundamentals. And the 5 fundamentals are spinal elongation, pelvic stabilization, ribcage stabilization, and the forceful exhalation. And those are things that differentiate us.
That is right up my alley, and it meshes so well with chiropractic
It
care.
does. It does.
It makes my chiropractic heart very happy to hear you saying all this. More people need to know about it and need to know what you do and what you can offer, because it sounds like you can help a lot of people. Does anyone need to be in good physical shape, or is it a good idea to already be in physical shape before starting a Pilates class, or can you cater to anyone at any point in their wellness journey?
We can cater to anybody in the wellness journey. That is what's so great about the machine is that, one, we have your own equipment, so you don't have to worry about anybody else in the class. We also offer private lessons. So if for some reason somebody's not ready to, we can do a couple of those or continue to do them that way. But the great thing about the machine is that you can reduce the resistance, and there's almost a modification for where the body can go and for every single position that we may take for an exercise. So if someone can't stand up and lower and go into a plank, into an inverted V, then we'll have them come to their knees, and we'll change the resistance, because that stability will change with the amount of support that's provided. So
you can modify.
We really can modify for pretty much anybody.
So no excuses.
No excuses. I have a client that's 70 plus years old with Parkinson's, and it does classes.
Wonderful. Oh, is that a private course?
No,
private
she's
class?
in classes. She wanted to be in classes. She wanted to have that energy and that support, and now it's like a little family with her in there. It's great,
and that's good for the mental as
Absolutely.
well.
And
just being among others and enjoying it and being passionate about it. So I love to hear that. Now, we already know, because we talked about a little bit, what role posture and alignment play in everything you do as a Pilates instructor. But what is something, or your number one most common misconception that people might have about Pilates and what you do?
That it's easy.
Ah, okay.
Strength doesn't come with ease. We all know this. However, Pilates isn't just stretching. It's about stretching the muscle to create more flexibility and length, and to create more strength and stability through your core, so you can live a better quality of life. Yes. And it's about practicing.
And persistence.
And consistency,
absolutely. Stay on top of it. Don't stop. You can take a break, but you got to stay on top of it. Yeah. Especially, it's great for any age group, but for women that are approaching either perimenopause or menopause, that resistance training is so important.
Vital.
Because muscle strength and also bone health as well, that resistance. And I think more people, need to know about those items as they age as well. What do you think Pilates is really for, and who do you see benefiting the most? Like who's your favorite kind of client walking in the door? I know I love when people come in my office and they sit in the chair and I go through my history and they are scared. to death of me. And to see them realize at the end of treatment how much change we can make going through that process. That's my ideal person, because I love to see how to help people through that process. Is there someone or a story or anyone that stands out?
There's so many. One that's standing out more recently is a client that came in that never worked out in her life. She was approaching the pre-perimenopausal stage and knew that she needed to start doing something, and she's not done an exercise in her life. I did some private training with her, maybe 4 or 5 sessions, and I said, you're aware of your body. You know where your body is in space, your proprioception, everything. It's great. I said, I want you to try a class because I think you'll benefit from the energy. And she did a class, and she's like, I don't know, Angel. I'm still nervous. And I was like, let's do another private. And I said, okay, any questions about class? And she didn't have anything right off. And she's like, I think it's just my confidence. And I said, okay, well, I'm here to help you move and try to give you that confidence because you have the strength and you have that proprioception and you know where your body is and you listen well. And so those people that don't believe in themselves are the ones that I really feel my heartstrings just get pulled at.
And you're like, this is worth it.
She's a special client, and now she's been there for, I think, 9 months. And she just won our first challenge.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What was the challenge?
So they were supposed to do the first person to get 20 sessions in a 6-week period wins won a prize. So we did like a relaxed basket and got them like a pliable gift certificate and another pair of grip socks, and just to kind of treat them and hold the clients accountable. And everybody really enjoyed doing that challenge. So that was the most recent inspiring story for me.
That stands out. And that's great. What about rehab or injury? What about those clients that have been in a traumatic accident or maybe some prolonged injury, healing, or even prevention or rehab?
A lot of our clients actually have some kind of injury or are post-op in some way, shape, or form.
Okay.
I would say probably 70% of our clients, spinal fusions, neck fusions, hip replacements, knee replacements, MCLs, ACLs, all the knee fun things that have a history of something, and they're there for that reason. I recently have a client that she's actually 76. She had a stroke like 5 or 6 years ago, and she doesn't have full function of her right leg. And she came to me yesterday actually, and she was able to extend her leg behind her and feel it and move it. Today she was in my class. She was able to actually feel it and move it. That neuromuscular education is just really fitting in and really just doing its magic. And she cried on my shoulder yesterday. And so injuries, strokes, things like that, there's really not an excuse. If you can show up for yourself, the mind and the muscles will work together, and it's magical. And I'm sure you see it every day.
Oh, yes. It's so rewarding. It's like, okay, this is why I keep getting up every day and doing this, because you see that change going on in someone's life and how much of a difference that can make. So what type of clients do you often see coming in with pain or different challenges that you can modify workouts from recovering or dealing with chronic issues, maybe like, rheumatoid, something that it's not going to heal. It's something that they need to live with long term. I'm sure you see some dips in confidence with those types of conditions, but do you have a lot of clients that fit into that category?
Absolutely. The arthritis is the big one, whatever stage they may be at, that's a big one. But the people that really benefit with are the ones that show up consistently. Yeah. And they know that when they walk in, they're hurting, but once they get to moving, they feel a lot better walking out. So that's really rewarding, especially with those people that walk in with pain and they leave with less. And then as they start getting stronger, they start to notice, hey, I don't hurt anymore. Like I woke up this morning and I feel good. Or it doesn't hurt as bad when I do, X, Y, and Z activity. So
those small improvements can be a boost.
Absolutely.
For the mental aspect of it as well. I know during my time, way back when I was a personal trainer, it was a regular occurrence to see people pushing themselves too hard. Oh, they want to lift more, and back in the day, there wasn't Pilates and, yoga wasn't that popular. It was weight training and weightlifting. It was so popular. But people hurt themselves so much because they wanted to do so much too soon, and that's when injuries take place. So from your perspective, how does strength without proper form creates problems over time? I'm sure you experience that at your place. People are like, oh, no, I can do this. I worked out 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm strong.
There's a lot of different ways I can go with this. I went into Pilates because I was injured.
Oh, okay.
So I had a torn shoulder. I had broken my ankle, things like that. So I had to recover. And I was one of those people that wanted to push and wanted to lift heavy, but I had to come to the realization that you didn't necessarily have to have that excessive weight to gain strength.
Right.
And so coming to that realization that, hey, like we can take it down a notch and help prevent injury.
Yes.
And if I had taken Pilates before I was lifting weights, my form, I would have, PR'd significantly more had someone told me to lengthen my spine and not tuck my pelvis and to not bring my shoulders into my ears. And There's so many different things that Pilates teaches you, or IMX Pilates teaches you, that if you have the tools, you can live a better quality of life, you can lift heavier, you can do so many things more efficiently.
And for years to come.
Yeah.
You're building for the
reaching
future.
up in that cabinet to get to that coffee pot, the coffee cup,
Something so simple.
is something that becomes very hard if you don't have that strength later on in life.
Exactly. And mobility.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel Pilates and chiropractic care could complement each other? Because what you're right, you're right up my alley.
Right
all
up,
this
right
stuff.
up the same
Yeah.
lines for sure. We actually work with a lot of different chiropractors in town. Like a lot of their clients come to the studio.
Yeah.
It works very well, very cohesive partnerships. We have some people that I'm trying to think of one person that we had an issue with the shoulder, and she had some hip pains and overcompensation, things
happens.
like that. And so I was like, okay, so did you go see your chiropractor? What did they say? Did they say it was okay for you to work out? Did you need a rest? Are you in an inflammation kind of situation?
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to kind of communicate between the clients and the physicians and make sure that they're ready to come back for care.
And that co-management is so
Yes.
important. So what changes do you notice mostly when clients combine Pilates, not only with chiropractic adjustments, but maybe with massage or physical therapy? And what is one thing that you wish healthcare providers understood more about movement-based therapies? Because, let's be honest, most medical doctors either write a prescription. They're not going to sit there and show people how to stretch or talk to them about core strengthening or mobility. How does that play a part in what you do? Do you see a lot of that in your
So you're saying
business?
What is one thing that
you wish healthcare providers knew more about?
Okay. Yeah, that's one of the things that is most frustrating in what I do, because I get physicians know that this client can't do Pilates for X, Y, and Z reason, and it's frustrating because I'm trying to step over my words here, but I just need to say it out loud.
Understand.
It's frustrating because it's a low impact exercise that shouldn't be causing them that issue, and they're preventing them from moving, which is causing them more pain, and so it's contraindicative.
It's a cycle. It's going to keep happening unless they get that strength and mobility back.
Right, and they're like, no, you just need to rest, and I'm like, no, we just need to reduce the resistance.
Keep moving.
If there's not a real diagnosis, some excess, like you need a spinal fusion or anything like that, or you need a hip replacement, then we need to keep moving, because that's probably the worst medicine, is to stop moving.
So I always say movement is medicine. I mean, we just have to
Yes.
remind ourselves and our patients and clients. So I'm sure disciplinary care is so important, for you when it comes to wellness. But do you have anything else besides Pilates that you like to incorporate into your wellness journey?
Yes, I do weightlifting. I still do weightlifting. I don't lift 200, 300 pounds anymore,
Right.
but I do some free weights and yoga. Yoga is in my daily practice.
Yes. Is
along
that
with
how you
Pilates.
decompress
Yes.
maybe after a long week or a lot of going back and forth and traveling and whatnot?
Yes. That's my
helps you.
go-to. That's
I would
how
imagine.
I center my chi there.
What challenges, I know you have a lot going on with the business, but what challenges do you face maybe owning the business, being a female in business, or even being in business in Lafayette? Are there any particular challenges that you faced?
Well, with any small business, it's a challenge to continue to grow, continue to educate people. What we do. There's a lot of Pilates places popping up around here, and I think that it's just very challenging to educate people on what's the difference between each type of approach. They're all great in their own ways. It's very challenging to. Because people think Pilates is just Pilates.
Yes, they do.
Pilates-inspired movements are a little bit different than Pilates. IMX Pilates. And classical Pilates is a little bit different than IMX Pilates. They all have their benefits. And I think that's one of the hardest things is just educating the community on what it is.
What the differences are.
Because they think, just like they think yoga is Pilates, they think Pilates is Pilates everywhere. It's all the same, but it's not.
So if someone was looking and they said, okay, I definitely want to go and try this, I want to do this, what are some of the questions they should ask? I know you said there's several that have been popping up in Lafayette. What are some of the questions people should ask when they walk in the door to whomever, Pilates? What should they be asking?
I always like to say it depends on what your goal is.
Okay.
Are you looking for strength and stability? Are you looking for a culture that is warm and welcoming and mixed, and infused with the warm and welcoming atmosphere? Are you looking for, maybe a little bit less resistance, something a little bit not as intense? Then, this may not be for you, but we can modify, So there's a lot of different questions that they could ask. It just really kind of depends on what their goal is.
Okay.
What are they looking for? Are they recovering from an injury? Do they focus? Does that studio focus on special populations? So many questions.
Can they handle it?
Yeah.
Because you can't just walk into any one.
Right.
This really, you have to have the proper training. How many Pilates places are in Lafayette now? Do you even know?
Oh, I don't
Just
really
curious.
know. There are at least 6 that I can think of right off the top of my head. Some of them are more physical therapy approach.
Okay.
Some of them are more classical, and then some of them are more like a Pilates inspired movement type of boutique fitnesses
Interesting.
or fitness studios or whatever. So
I didn't know there was a Pilates inspired movement out there. I bet a lot of
Yes.
people don't know that.
yes. They're not. I think a lot of people think that because the classical approach was a little bit more for dancers and things like that, that they think that it's just for women, or they think that it's easy, and it's not. It's for all walks of life. And Mel is the one that created the program, initially, Joseph Pilates. So,
So, educate me on this.
yeah,
What are you talking about?
Joseph Pilates helped rehabilitate war soldiers. And
That is so interesting. I didn't know this.
and he came over to New York City and created the reformer, or apparatuses that ended up becoming into the reformer out of bed springs. And
How
he was trying to
interesting.
create resistance and for his clients, because let me backtrack, in the war zone, he used those springs from the mattress to create resistance for them, because he saw they were getting better, but then they kind of plateaued, so they needed to get stronger. And so then Joseph Pilates came over to New York City and started teaching the dancers how to create more length, gain more strength.
So important.
And so then he started working with dancers, and then that's kind of how all his predecessors kind of
Evolved into what it is.
And then there became Elise McNergy, which is the founder of our IMX, and she studied it and did research, and now we're science backed. Mm-hmm. And so now all of our movements and our fundamentals are backed by research and science.
So important.
It has evolved so much that's why there's multiple interpretations of what Pilates is.
Yeah, and what you do. Mm-hmm. So what year would that have been? Which war? World War II?
Sorry,
or
that
like
was in the 1920s.
Oh, World War I.
20s
okay.
and 50s.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
World War I. That is a great story. I did not know that. And any other ways that you personally focus on health and wellness, just like mind, body, everything besides training or being in a gym setting?
Yeah. I actually wake up every morning and read Journey of the Heart by Melody Beattie. Have you heard of her?
I have.
Beautiful story she has. And I read her daily devotional every day to kind of start my day. And then I read The Secret every morning, my little passage every morning, just to get my day started. It's very important for me to stay positive. I have a lot going on, multiple businesses, studios, employees, and things like that. And so it's a great way to kind of stay grounded and to remember how much you have and to be thankful for it. So,
how many businesses do you own?
Between my husband and I, we have 6, and it gets interesting at points. I manage all of his books, I manage my books, and I also have a medical consulting practice.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is it all Pilates-based businesses?
No. My consulting platform is for small medical practices.
Okay.
So I help with credentialing and contracting and things like that. And so when I have those big contracts coming up, it gets a little, got to move my pieces.
I do
and
not
manage.
envy you in that respect.
Yes.
Okay.
And my husband is in the auto finance industry. So,
can you name one exercise that you think everyone should be doing but isn't?
Glute bridges.
Okay, I wish you could show us exactly what that is, because I know when people are listening to this,
Yes.
they may not know what that is, but
Yes.
Google it. Why? Tell us why.
And the glute bridges, it not only activates your deep core muscles, but it activates your glute muscles. And it helps lengthen through the front side of the body, which we don't do often because we sit often. Also, it gives you more cushion on your bottom. It helps build a little bit of strength. And you can also add resistance to that as well to help build more strength. So glute bridges are my go-to. My clients will attest that I like to work the booty.
Okay. I love that. And it's so important for stability,
and
especially in the aging community to, prevent slips and falls and things like that. Mm-hmm. Strengthen.
Strengthen your hips.
Yes.
Yeah.
Name one daily habit that everyone is doing that they should not be doing or should be doing less of.
I think it's the phones.
Yeah. It's hard to get a different answer because it's everywhere, Yeah. We need to put the phones down.
It's an issue. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I couldn't live without mine because my businesses wouldn't run without it. But, I do try to take that time to decompress from it.
Put it down.
Yes.
We lived before the phone. We'll be okay.
Yeah, we were joking about that this morning in the class.
Really? Yes.
When our electronics go down, what do?
We panic. Now we do, at least.
No, we get a paper and pen.
Exactly.
Okay.
Back in the good old days. So how can our listeners find you when they are ready, which they should be ready today after listening to you talk about this? How can they find you, and how can they become a member of your training facility?
You can find us on the Mind Body application and under IMX Pilates Lafayette, or you can find us at imxpilates.com/Lafayette. Okay. And then IMX Lafayette on Instagram, and the same for Facebook.
Okay, and where's the physical classes are they held here in Lafayette?
At 2207 Colley Saloon, Suite E. We're just a few doors down from La Madeleine's.
Oh, okay, yes. I know
so
where you are.
Not too far.
I know where you are. So great. So if you haven't already, go sign up for that class and work on that core strength. And this is the lady to help you. She's got a great team. I know that. One of my friends, I'll say, Miss Jennifer, works there, and she's there training.
She's great.
And she's taught me a lot about Pilates and told me how wonderful everything is there and how many people you guys help. So I really appreciate you taking the time to be here today.
Thank
So
you for having me, and thanks, Jen, for connecting us.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. So my last question is usually, how do you maintain your posture while pursuing your purpose in life?
I often tell my clients commitment plus consistency equals results. And as long as you have that commitment and that consistency, your purpose will be pushed forward.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different things in life that will throw at you, and you just have to stay grounded and stay steady and keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
And that positivity is vital.
Good days and bad, push forward. I love that message. So thank you. And until next time, sit up straight, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay adjusted.
Thanks for listening to the Posture and Purpose podcast with Dr. Michelle Carr-Frank. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Until next time.